Webheads, stay tuned to the end of this video to find out how you can win this Marvel Masterworks collection featuring the Avengers. Until then, enjoy After the Arrival, a King in Black special. Hey, all my webheads out there, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0, and fans, I am your host, Mike Spider Slayer, always helping you make decisions on what comic books to buy. And today, guys, I'm bringing you After the Arrival, a King in Black special. This is week number 2, where I, Mike Spider Slayer, not only covers the King in Black main event, but I'm also covering all the tie-ins for you. Just in case you want to buy these tie-ins, just follow them right here on my channel. All right, so let's get started here. We got 2 books this time around. Immortal Hulk King in Black was supposed to come out originally this week, but it's not coming out until next week. So we got 2. We have Namor issue 1, which not too excited about. I'm not a huge Namor fan. I don't even know that much about the character. But since it said it's tying into King in Black, I'm like, all right, I'm going to check it out. As promised, I'm going to read the main event and all its tie-ins to bring this info to you guys. And then the next one we have is Venom. This is issue 31. Now, this is the top tier tie-in book, right? This is the one that you have to read to truly, get the full effect of the story, I feel, okay? So, let's talk about Namor issue 1. Now, this book's artwork, to start it off, okay, done by Benjamin Dewey and written by Kurt Busiek. I thought this artwork, especially in the beginning, was very dark toned. It felt very like a desolate land that Namor has been going through some stuff. There's some like dark creatures that are under the sea that have been put away, and they're like, we'll return, little prince, and we will come back. And so, it's very dark there. But then as the issue continues, it becomes a much lighter issue because this takes place in the younger days of Namor as he is joining forces with this group that's called the Swift Tide. They're just like these highly recognizable underwater heroes that eventually join forces with the Atlanteans, right? So it's kind of cool. You get to see like the underwater sea life, and you get introduced to all these particular characters. And so it's very bright, vibrant colors, happy-go-lucky type of book. And all this book really had was a bunch of setup for these characters, because really this first issue does not tie into King in Black whatsoever. However, by the time you wind up getting to the very end of this issue, it actually has a description going, how does this all tie into King in Black? Because it doesn't want to deter readers not to read this anymore, because really the first issue has nothing to do with King in Black whatsoever. Again, it's a complete setup of everything that's to happen. You get to see this quick little battle between the Swift Tide, the Atlanteans, and some other group of people saying that they're a bunch of traitors. And being that they had this battle and they worked together, the Atlanteans and the Swift Tide are going to go on this special mission that they have to retrieve this dark artifact that is like the darkest thing known to underwater, and it's supposed to bring all hell and everything else. And so that's really what this issue was about. And by the time you wind up getting to the end of it, you wind up seeing Namor going, this was so young, this was such a long time ago. I was so young back then. And he sees like a piece of like his past, and he kind of breaks it, and you see that he's all angry about what happened. And that's basically the issue in itself. Okay, so do I recommend this particular book? I say if you are looking for a total King in Black experience, this is not the book for you. This first issue had nothing to do with King in Black. Does it eventually tie into King in Black in some way, shape, or form? Probably, but probably very loose. I think if you're a Namor fan, you might want to invest in picking up this book. But If you're looking for that pure King in Black experience, this book is not for you. You might want to save the $4. Story-wise, it's okay. It's a setup issue. You'll have to get the full experience by reading at least a few more issues, okay? So that's what I give Namor here. All right, so now let's talk about the book that was a lot more solid, but still for Venom tie-in book, I was like, man, I wanted a lot more out of this book. So this is Venom issue 31, also written by Donny Cates, who writes the main event, and Ivan Coelho does the artwork in this book. The one thing that this book has going for it, I kid you not, is the art. It is absolutely fantastic in this issue. The colors are very dark and it's very gritty. Obviously, that's what King in Black is. Knull is drawn beautifully in this book. He's just this tall, lengthy, over-exaggerated smile, long, exaggerated hair, fingernails. Everything about him is just super creepy looking, and it's just awesome to look at. You get to see the symbiotic dragons, the symbiotic ooze all over the city and whatnot. Facial expressions really good. This is the best thing about this comic book, is the artwork. And that's why you read comics, or that's why a lot of us are comic fans, because we love looking at that art, right? Okay, so how does this story turn out? Well, this story is really right after the fact that if you read King in Black on when Knull releases Eddie Brock and Eddie Brock is falling. So as a reader at that cliffhanger, you're kind of like, oh, what's going to happen to Eddie? How is he going to survive? Is he going to die? And so you're kind of left with that mystery. Here, you still don't get that answer, right? So you get to see Knull release Eddie Brock, and he captures, obviously, the Venom symbiote, and the symbiote is struggling to obey Knull, and Knull is talking with him and saying, it's okay, little one, you know, he was weak, he did not give you your full potential, and he wasn't the right host for you. And so that was kind of cool seeing that. But from here on out, all you really see is you see Eddie falling, and it's the longest falling scene that you'll have ever seen in a comic book. It takes place through this whole comic book, and literally when you fall from a building, it's like splat. And it just seems like Eddie is doing way too much in his fall. He's like talking to God. He's like talking to his kids. He's like talking. He's trying to stop himself from falling and trying to get into a helicopter. And then the helicopter explodes. And it's just like all hell falls apart. And it's just like, and it looks like he's just about to hit the ground by the time the end of this issue happens. You wind up getting to see a little bit of, you know, what's going on in the Earth, how the Avengers are falling, and everyone is being overwhelmed, whether it's the police or all the other heroes. And then you get to see a little bit with Dylan as he's in the safe house, and he's trying to get in contact with his dad or the Avengers or whoever the case may be, because he's not sure what's going on. And then he winds up seeing that his connection was severed. So yeah, and basically that's it. He does see his dad fall off the building, and like I said, Eddie tries to get in a helicopter. That's a fail, and it ends as it just him about to hit the ground. How does he survive? Who knows? Does he land in some symbiotic jelly? Does he get repossessed by another symbiote that catches him? Like, what happens? How does he survive? That's what I want to know. And hopefully we get that answer in the next King in Black issue, the next Venom issue. Who knows? But really, at the end of the day, this was just a really drawn out issue with Brock falling, and you don't see him hit quite yet. He's about a second away from death. So what did I think about this issue? I'm not gonna lie, it was definitely a page turner. I was kind of disappointed that I wanted more. I wanted Eddie Brock to fall. I wanted him to hit, and I wanted to see if something else took him or whatever the case may be. I just thought it was a little bit drawn out, and however, out of these two tie-ins, this was the best tie-in, and artistically, it was phenomenally done. So it wasn't all bad, but it wasn't like the best, just because I wanted something more out of it. So I'm very curious to see what you guys thought of this particular issue when it came to Venom issue 31. So again, if I had to give these two books a rating, when it comes to Namor, I gotta give this one probably a 2.5 out of 3 stars. 2.5, maybe 3 stars at best, as just a comic book in itself. Tie-in wise, it wasn't there. It missed the mark completely. Venom issue 31, I say I'm gonna give this one probably 3 3/4 stars. I just wanted a little bit more story out of it. All right, webhead, so if you want to win this Marvel Masterworks featuring the Avengers, all you're going to have to do is tune in to Tuesday's Top 10 Comic Book Covers of the Year video, where I'm doing my final nominations for Comic Book Cover of the Year. So in order to win, you have to do a few things. You have to be a subscriber to the channel, okay? You're going to have to like the video. You're going to have to hit that bell for notifications, and you're going to have to, most importantly, vote on which is your favorite comic book cover of the year. And then in the following week, I'm going to give you the results, and on a YouTube comment generator, I'm going to draw the winner of who wins this prize. So good luck to you guys, and I'll see you on that video. So guys, there you have it. There is my insight on when it comes to this week's King in Black tie-ins. Hopefully you're enjoying this series and you find it very helpful. So if you do, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that bell. I'll leave you some more content right here. And until next time, webheads, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care.